Feeling like an expert isn't just about what you know, it's about how you position yourself and really own the information that you know. When I was talking about imposter syndrome, I was also learning about it at the same time on a deeper level. So not only was I overcoming it and had developed a methodology for helping clients through it, but I also was deepening my knowledge of it every single day, especially in experiential work. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Welcome back, bitches, to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, and let's dive into the topic today, which is how to feel like an expert every single day. But before we do, I want to invite you to join the From Imposter to Empowered program. And the reason why I want to invite you today is because you already know that you sit here and listen to every single episode of the podcast, and you know that imposter syndrome is just one of the things that's in your way. And it's one of the things that's in your way when you don't feel like an expert when you show up online. And that is why you fucking clicked on this episode. So you want to be making the money that you want to be making in your business, but you know to get to that next level, to have people reaching out to you and really want to work with you, those fuck yes clients, not only because of what you do and how you can help them, but also because of who you are, because of the way that you show up and the way that you show up in your leadership and your expertise. I know you want that for yourself. You see it happening for other people, and more than anything, you want to genuinely feel like the expert. You want to feel so powerful every day. You want to feel like it's easy for you to create content and show up because it's coming from an authentic place. You don't want to feel like you're performing or like you're trying to show that you're capable. You already know that you are. You know that you're the perfect person for your potential client, and you want to be able to communicate that effectively with confidence, with certainty, and with a conviction that it seems like everybody else has but you. And this is what we focus on inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program, where you'll break through your imposter syndrome and your mindset blocks like self-doubt, fear of success, the fear of being seen. You'll learn how to be paid for who you are because you're going to be so authentic in the way you show up online and sell your offers, and you're going to sign high ticket fuck yes clients. One of my clients inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program, as soon as she came in, she got to work, and one of the big things that she had to deal with was her self-doubt, right? She was really critical of herself, had a lot of self-doubt, and that was one of the first things that we worked on. We also did a lot of work on her offers for the messaging, but to be honest, she was already super consistent. There were just a lot of small tweaks that we had to make. So after we made those, it was more about her energy and how she was showing up. And from that place, she started signing one-to-one clients, four-figure clients over and over again, because it was more about the way that she was doubting herself. She was doubting herself so much, so critical of herself, that you could really even see on her social media that she was like holding something in, right? But once she relaxed into her purpose, she relaxed into, I know what I'm talking about, I'm the best fit for my clients, she started signing them back to back. And I want this for you. You deserve this. You're going to make it happen inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program. And I implemented something last month, and that is a 2-week taster. So you're going to be able to join for only $397. You can join for 2 weeks. You'll get access to some of the content inside of the program. You'll get to come on a hot seat coaching call and get coached personally by me, and you'll get to join the Telegram channel for those 2 weeks, where I drop in 2 times a week to do Q&A. So you'll get a taste of the program, and if you decide to join, you can use that $397 towards your first payment, or if you pay in full. So come in for the taster and see what the From Imposter to Empowered program is all about, or join for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. And you can do both of those things at the link in my show notes, or you can send me a DM at your coach Jill if you have questions. Okay, now let's dive into this juicy as fuck episode on feeling like an expert, as it is truly one of the codes to unlocking unlimited wealth, unlimited clients, and always feeling like there is a steady stream of leads and people that want to work with you. When you genuinely feel like you have something different, when you separate yourself from the pack, from the sea of the same online, When you know that what you're doing is so in your genius and people will pay you top dollar to solve that problem for them, you'll never be able to stop making money. Because when you truly believe that you're different from everybody else and you're an expert at the thing that you do and there is no other choice for people, you really believe that. That is like how you show up. That is the energy that you put into your content. And when you start out online, it's very easy to get caught up in the semantics of showing up, the things that you have to do, the content you have to create. And it can be so easy to fall into the trap of, I'm not an expert because this online business thing requires so much of you, and it requires you to pretty much have an unlimited well of content ideas for what it is you do. And this is such a unique thing, right? Because experts should be able to talk a lot about the thing that they do. And this is not to shame you if you're one of those people that's constantly thinking to yourself, I don't know what to say. That is just like an energy shift that you need to make. This just means that you need to go for a walk. You need to disconnect for a second. You need to take some time to let yourself breathe before you can move back into creating content. Because if you're trying to force it, if you're trying to sit down and just create the thing when you don't have ideas, it is not going to come to you. And then you're going to be frustrated, and then you're going to continue to feel like a fucking fraud because you're like, I can't think of the things that I need to say, right? And something that I always talk about is I do not sit down without ideas. I get my ideas when I'm in the shower, when I'm walking, when I'm just sitting around, when I'm meditating, when I'm playing fucking Candy Crush, you guys. I know that I'm years late to that game, but I started playing Candy Crush because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to scroll my phone. I'm going to do a Wordle or something. I started playing Wordle and the New York Times games like Connections and the Spelling Bee, and it's so fun. But anyways, when I am doing these things that are more mindless and just letting my brain marinate and breathe, that is when I come up with all of the ideas, and then I sit down and flush out the content. I do not try to force any ideas. So anyways, all this to say, there is a demand to talk about what it is you do and to have an endless amount of content when it comes to what it is you do. When it comes to the online space, like, this is the thing, is you feel like you always have to have something to say. But this is the power of repetition and why you're making it harder on yourself, because you don't want to be repetitive. You think there's something wrong with being repetitive when actually all experts are totally and completely repetitive. You have a lot to say, and it's not like doing a TED Talk where you talk for an hour and then you don't really have to say anything else until the next time. There is a certain kind of demand for information that comes with being online every day. So first and foremost, I just want to validate you here in terms of, like, it can sometimes feel like there is an endless amount of content you need to create, and you're not alone. We all feel this way, and it's not a problem because you can repeat yourself. It is safe to repeat yourself, and experts do repeat themselves. And this is why it's very important to separate yourself from the rest. So you're not thinking to yourself, I need to say the perfect thing. I need to talk to everyone. I need to talk about 20 different things today because I'm a fucking manifesting generator and I'm multi-passionate. Okay, like, this is just fucking up your content game. This is just making you a jack of all trades and a master of none. Something I did at the very beginning and has really helped me feel like an expert even when I had some of that doubt. Even when I was struggling with imposter syndrome, I would show up every day and just commit to saying one thing a day. This is going to be massive for you because a lot of us are thinking, I need to show up and I need to talk about all these different things so I can sell. And truthfully, that's not how I do things, and that's not how I think you should do things. How I do things is I show up, I say a thing, and I sell. I do not think to myself, I need to say the perfect thing or I need to talk about all of these things before I can sell. I just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about and I sell. It does not have to be so intertwined or interconnected because everything I do and everything I talk about is related to the things that I sell, because the things that I sell are so specific to who I am and who I am in my genius. So because of this practice of showing up and sharing a story or saying one thing a day, right, I developed the feeling of being an expert because I didn't overdo it. And that is a big problem in the online space, where it creates a lot of fear in your response, and you're going to really question your own expertise if you're trying to just throw shit at the wall every single day and feel every day like you have to start over, right? Instead of taking your time, being patient, and not having to say all the things in the same day. You can take your time, and that is how you can keep the content and the information constantly flowing. You don't feel like you're in a rush. And because of your confidence in how you're showing up and sharing that one thing, instead of trying to share it all at once or all this week, sharing that one story, connecting it to your offer, selling your offer, you will never run out of things to talk about. You'll actually be like, I'm so excited for my content to come out. I'm so excited to show up today because I had something that I really wanted to say and now I can. Feeling like an expert isn't just about what you know, it's about how you position yourself and really own the information that you know. When I was talking about imposter syndrome, I was also learning about it at the same time on a deeper level. So not only was I overcoming it and had developed a methodology for helping clients through it, but I also was deepening my knowledge of it every single day, especially in experiential work. So as I continued to work with more and more clients, I started to see it more clearly and see the ways that it showed up in the patterns of their behavior, what it was making them do, what it was making them feel. And again, this was just deepening my knowledge of it. Ironically, there is a kind of imposter syndrome that's called the natural genius, where you feel like you need to have all the information before you can take action, where you need to be 100% knowledgeable, and you need to give yourself permission that you don't need to be 100% knowledgeable, that you don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough to position yourself as the authority, as the person that can help somebody, right? And you need to feel that, because if you don't feel that, then that's not going to be conveyed energetically through your content. People always assume that they need more. They need more certifications, more information, more proof, more years of experience, right? When clients have come to me stuck in inaction, it's almost always because they don't believe they have enough information. The truth is, it's just a fancy way of thinking that they're not good enough. That's all it is. A real expert is someone who's willing to lead even if they don't have all of the information. They're willing to share their knowledge and provide value. They have the audacity to say, I know how to fucking do this. And I think we see this like time and time again. Like, I was recently a part of this free challenge. It's not something that I typically do. I don't usually join freebies and stuff like that because I would really rather focus on paid mentorship and not spread my energy over 100 different things. But this was a free challenge by a coach that I really respect. And during that challenge, I came to the realization that I didn't know anything about this bitch. I didn't know what degree she had, what certification she had. I didn't know anything at all. But what I did know is when I read her content, when I would see her show up, she was giving amazing value. And she was very confident and certain in herself and her work. She was being an activator. She was being a leader. And that was enough for me to sign up for a free offer. I was already considering being in her world long before I even joined that free offer. And I did not need to see her long list of accomplishments in order to do that. It was the energy that she showed up with. It was how she was so in her leadership that I was like, you know what? I need to get into her world at some point. Let me see what her actual coaching style is. Let me see how she teaches. Again, the real expert is the one who's willing to lead, who's willing to show up, who's willing to share their knowledge, what they know, what they believe, how they think they can solve your problem, and providing the value, not the person that is hiding behind the scenes and thinking that they don't know enough to share. At the core of it, people just want to know you can help them get to where they want to be. A lot of the time, that looks like telling stories when you were in that position that they are in, and now you're in a different one with more certainty in yourself, more belief, more confidence, more skill in the thing that you're doing, and with results that your clients want. And of course, if you're listening to this and you're like, but I don't have everything that my clients want, first of all, how can you be more in integrity with that? Sometimes it isn't even about the fact that you've never done it before. It's about the fact that you have and you're just not doing it at the same level right this second, right? Like, I've had clients before who have had tons of success and then hit a snag in their personal life, or had a client who didn't get the result they wanted and it really rocked their confidence and their income has dipped, right? And it's always about coming back to your truth in terms of knowing that you have gotten your clients' results before, knowing that you have gotten this result before, right? If you can do it once, you can do it again. You can do it over and over. And as long as you're certain and solid in how you got that result or how you helped your clients, and you're not saying, I don't know how that happened, or I don't know what's happening now, right? Like, oh my God, please don't come into any of my coaching containers and say, I don't know, right? Like, we are business owners. We need to step into the fact, like, you do know. It's just hard to admit that your ego got in the way, that you got rocked by a client not getting a result, that you hit a personal life snag and then you stopped showing up for a bit, like, you know what has happened, right? And that goes with the hard things in your business and the good things. You know that you used to get clients results. You know that you've gotten these results, right? You are killing your confidence and your expertise, but by saying, I don't know. And I tell this to my clients all the time too. Like, before you say, I don't know about why something isn't working, about why this isn't happening, really ask yourself, do I actually know why it's not happening for me? Because this is where your expertise lies, in that confidence and certainty that even when things aren't going perfectly, you have a plan and you're going to move forward with the confidence of an expert. So with that being said, you only have to be a couple steps ahead of someone to help them. I'm sure you've heard that before, and you probably even heard it from me, but it really is true. People want to be led by people who believe that they can lead them. And at the end of the day, your certainty in the everyday is going to be what moves somebody, what activates someone into believing that you're the person who can lead them into the results that they want. And confidence comes from your action. I was talking about this on a podcast interview last month, and how in order for me to fully overcome those feelings of being a fraud, I had to move at the same time as doing my inner work, doing the mindset work. I had to take action. I had to make moves at the same time, or I was never going to go anywhere. Because when you take action, you learn how to trust yourself. Showing up consistently, even when you don't feel 1,000% ready, you're rewiring your brain to see yourself as a leader, to see yourself as somebody who is consistent, who is serious about this thing that you're doing. You're learning how to trust yourself, even if you don't feel 100% certain. There are so many times in the beginning of my journey with showing up online, when I started doing it consistently, where I was like, I'm tired from my full-time job. I don't want to have to show up today. But I had my goals in mind. I had my desires in mind, and I just focused on saying that one thing and doing that one thing or telling that one story every day. And every time I did it, I built the trust in myself. I built the thoughts of, you know what, I'm worthy and deserving of a client reaching out and wanting to work with me because I am doing the work as well. I trust that I would be able to deliver to them because I'm showing up every single day and showing that I'm committed to this business, that I'm committed to this process. And I want to talk about two more things before I leave you today. The first thing is that you have to teach yourself to not be seeking so much external validation. That is also killing you from feeling like an expert. We talk about this all the time on the podcast, but it is especially important for your opinion of yourself to be the most important opinion that you care about, because this is not your corporate job. This is not a space where someone is going to be constantly telling you that what you posted was good today or what you said was good today, right? You have to be able to get that from yourself, because that is how you decide that you're good enough. That is how you decide that you're an expert, by you telling yourself that, not by external validation. And if you're just sitting around waiting for someone to tell you that you're an expert before shifting into that energy, you're never going to get it. And you're going to constantly play down your strengths and make yourself feel small when nobody else is making you feel that way but you. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is you need to imagine how you would speak, show up, and sell if you already believed that you were an expert. If you were an expert at what you did, how would you show up? What are the things you would talk about? What are the things you would say? This is the difference between waiting for permission to say what the fuck you want to say and just owning that you have this space online for you to be fully yourself, for you to fully step into your expertise and what it is you know, and just see it as every time you're doing it as a fucking practice run, right? You're learning how to do this confidently every day, and the more you do it, the more you will trust yourself and the more you will feel like a fucking expert. And when you're ready to do this strategically, when you're ready to learn how to create the content that communicates to your perfect clients, when you're ready to do the inner work, to do the mindset work, the subconscious reprogramming work with me, so you can overcome imposter syndrome, self-doubt, a lack of certainty in yourself, the fear of being seen, the fear of being successful, when you're ready to do this work with me, because you know that I'm the only person that you can do this with, come join us inside of the From Imposter to Empowered program. We have 2 hot seat coaching calls a month where we dive deep into your messaging, into your mindset, into the things that are happening real time so you can shift them and show up so powerfully right after. You'll get immediate access to the curriculum and to all my courses, the content course, the sales course, my new money mindset course, the launch course. And of course, we have the Telegram community where there is a Q&A on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I drop in and answer all of your questions. There is so much support inside of this container. I'm so excited to fucking coach you in there. And also don't forget about the 2-week taster where you can join for 2 weeks and get a taste of everything inside of the program for only $397. And then if you decide to join us, you can use that towards your first payment or if you pay in full. Okay. I am so excited to help you sign those high ticket clients on repeat and for you to feel like the fucking expert and get paid for who you fucking are. So if you have questions, send me a DM at your coach Jill, or you can head over to the show notes and check out the sales page where all of those details are, and you can join directly there. And I will see you next week. Hey babe, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Screenshot it and put it on your stories and tag me at your coach Jill. And if you really love me, you'll rate and review the podcast. And if you screenshot it before you submit the review and send it to me, I will send you a free gift on me. If you want to take this work deeper, come and work with me in the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Real Deal Mastermind. And finally, if you want just a snippet of my work to feel what it's like to be in my world, then you need to buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and you can get that on Amazon. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.